Okay, so today's world, on account of this World Heart Day, uh, we are seeing a lot of sweet temptations everywhere. So we get to hear um, that sweets are always related with celebrations. So and so it is more essential for us to know more about the sugars, to decode the sugars, and uh, on to speak on this topic, we have the speaker of the day, Nikitha Deshpande. So I welcome Nikitha. Let me spotlight her for you all. Yes, welcome Nikitha, and thank you for joining us and being here on a Sunday morning. So let me give a small intro about Nikitha, and she has done her master's in nutrition and dietetics, and she's from Hyderabad, and currently doing her internship for RD in Yashoda Hospital, Secunderabad. And she's a very dedicated and motivated person, and a bubbly and charming person, always full of life. And her basic motto, which made her uh, choose this area of work, is the concept of finding the cause of the cause has motivated her to embark on a career on disease reversal. She has a strong desire to bring awareness. So the reason of being her here on the Sunday shows this: to healthy lifestyle and empower oneself to take charge of themselves and become a healthy person. So welcome Nikita, and would you like to share something before we
Thank
start
you.
the
Thank
session?
you so much, ma'am, for the warm welcome. It started on a good note.
Yes. So we always it's the topic is wide open. So it's all about the sugars which we are talking about, be it the pros, cons, the impacts on the health and related stuff. So we always see that when you talk about sugars, we always see the only the flip side, right? So generally, the moment sugars pop up, we say, "Oh my God, sugar!" It gives that awkward awkward sense of emotion on everyone's face. But there's always the other side of the coin, right? So, would you please throw the light on the role of sugars on our daily food and how it helps us in our daily life? Why
Yes,
sugars are
ma'am, sure.
important?
Yes, yes. So whenever we hear the term sugar, we are like, oh my God, sugar, it's bad for our health. But whatever we consume in our daily life, it will be cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables, dairy products, all those things when we eat, it converts into sugar because our body needs energy. It converts into glucose, and glucose is sugar, right? So these foods contain essential nutrients. But we should know what are the bad sugars here, like sugar, chips, biscuits, honey, jaggery. All these things are also sugars, right? But those are empty calories. Those doesn't contain essential nutrients at all. So yes, the sugars which we eat in our daily life, like cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables, they are natural sugars, and it is helpful for our functioning of brains, muscles, and other body functions. So we need to know what type of sugar we are eating.
So true. So, and we have started on a very positive note on the sugars, right? So now that we have heard the importance of sugars in the food, let's take a closer look at the sugars we consume every day. So we often hear that there are many types of sugars, just like as you said now, the good sugars and the bad sugars. So there are many types of sugars which is available in the market and the food we take daily. And can you tell us what are the different types of sugars that are present, and even the hidden sugars in the processed food.
Yes. So I am seeing here few participants. So I want to know how many of you read food labels. Any answers? So yes, ma'am. As I previously said, there are so the types of sugars, natural sugars which are present in food, and again added sugars which we can see on the food labels. To be frank enough, I did not have a habit of reading food labels at all. I just used to go grab and have my snacks. But when I got to know the importance of sugars, when I started reading the labels, there are multiple types of sugars present in each food item that is the packed food. So natural sugars are usually, as I said, is present in fruits, vegetables, and all. But these sugars contain typical names because they are used in processing of foods. It contains sucrose, maltose, high corn fructose syrup, dextrose. All these are hidden sugars present in the food package. So recently, I was counseling one of my family members because she's a diabetic. She said, "I'm having ragi biscuits." I was like, "Okay, get me the packet of ragi biscuits." Then she said, "Okay." I just when I read the food label, there are so many added sugars, 11 grams of added sugar, which contains even high corn fructose syrup. It was shocking because it says ragi biscuit, it says it's healthy, but when I seen the food label, it contains sugar syrups, different types of hidden sugars, and even yesterday it was a fitness challenge here in the hospital. They gave us this snacks, protein bars, and they also contain added sugars 11 grams per serving. Apart from the food it contains sugar, added sugar is 11 grams. So it does not term healthy, right? It says it's healthy, but it does not healthy. So yes, there are different types of sugars. We need to, get aware of what type of sugar we are eating by reading those food labels.
So true. Even the biscuits, which termed as diabetic biscuits, when you see the ingredients, it has got maltodextrin, right? Which is again an added sugar. Already, the each ingredient they add, the flour, the uh, the other ingredients they add, the butter or the fattening agent they add. Already, they have got their own end product glucose. To top it up, they add this maltodextrin, not sugar. They don't label it as sugar, but they label it as maltodextrin. So it's all like an eye wash, which people doesn't is not aware of, which people doesn't know, right? So getting to read the labels, knowing the different kind of sugar is much important before taking that packet home. So
Yes,
thoughtful of
exactly,
you
ma'am.
to I mean, throw a light on the different types of sugars for the public. Thank you for that, Nikita. And so now let's move on ahead, one step ahead. So we have till now we have touched the basics of the sugars, the importance of sugars, the types of sugars. Now let's take a moment and consider the potential risks. So we all enjoy lots of sweets. In fact, I would openly admit that I have got a very bad sweet tooth.
That's good.
I I indulge a lot in sweets. The moment it's there on the table, the first thing I do is grab that sweet. So I do
Exactly.
admit that. So we all enjoy sweets, right? And celebrations means festivals means the first thing comes is the sweets, the sugars added in that. But overconsumption can have a very serious implications on our health, right? So here's the question for you. So what are the side effects of consuming high sugar for our health?
So, like you said, I am also a very sweet tooth person. I love sweets so much. Recently, when I said, "Daddy, no sugars, please," he was like, "What a box of Mysore Park and get it in front of me. Take it, it's your gift, karke." I said, "What kind of gift is this?" But to be frank enough, yes, sugars do contain excess consumption contains a lot of side effects. We should know the limit of how much to have it. So moderation is the key here. What happens is throughout the day, previously when I was not physically active, I used to have a lot of sugar cravings throughout the day. I used to do study for 1 hour or do something for 1 hour. I used to crave for that instant energy. So that instant energy, whenever I used to go to my kitchen, I used to grab few biscuits, a packet of biscuits, happy cream biscuits, and used to have it. But then I got to know, okay, I'm not craving for sugars. My body is craving for some nutrients, and I'm missing on that. So that led to the side effect, which we can see is excess consumption of sugars. It will lead to excess of increase of secretion of insulin, because insulin converts the sugar and it sends to the cells for the energy. When we tend to consume more of sugars, insulin production is more, and there's energy crash. We feel sluggish, we feel fatigue, we feel tired, and we tend to crave more because that is instant energy is used, and we tend to crave for more. We eat more, and when you're not physically active, these sugars it accumulates in the adipose tissue like fat. So there is weight gain, there is obesity, there is inflammation, there is energy crash, there is diabetes mellitus. So everything slowly, daily, if we consume sugars, it will lead to these side effects and later into chronic diseases as well. So we have to know that moderation is the key.
So
You
true.
tell me, ma'am, how do you feel after consuming sugary snacks?
So I would, to be frank, at that point of time, it would be high, right? We would be happy. Wow, we had. But after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we again crave. I again crave. But uh, after knowing all this, after studying the ill effects of the side effects of sugar, after getting to know, dig deeper, know more about the uh, ill effects of sugar, I tend to change the my mindset, right? It starts from here, right? So the more you change here, you there's always a shift, right? There is always your shift from your thoughts, the shift in your actions, the shift in your taste, everything, right? It's there here and it's there here. So it both should come in line. So I take a change. I take a shift. So I become mindful, right? I have had for enough of the day. Let me change my thought. Let me do work. So when you concentrate on the work, you tend to forget this. Empty mind is a devil's workshop. So the more you keep occupied in your work, in your activity, the more you tend to focus on that, and you tend to forget the other stuff, right? So this is what I do. And it took me, yes, again, it took me time to uh, take these all these measures. So because the craving took so much of time, so obviously to come out of that craving. But still I love sweets. It's not that I don't
Yeah,
eat
I love
sweets.
it.
But still I love sweets. It's just that the craving is not there.
Yeah,
I am
moderation
able
is
to come out of the craving. Yeah, I am able to find the moderation. The moderation is the key. I'm able to find that. Okay, so let's we have spoke about the cravings, the ill effects. Now let's look at a bigger picture, right? Uh, sugar is uh, sugar is equal to, I mean, sugar. When we talk about sugar, we talk about the sweetness.
హారిక ఫోన్
We talk
చేస్తుంది
about sweet. Yeah, we
ఉదిత
talk about the
yes,
Newton. Uh, so we talk about the sweetness. We talk about the enjoyment, the celebrations, everything. But uh, but when we start consuming, we take it overboard, right? We are not able to control it. So can you please enlighten about the impact of sugar on a long term basis on our health, and how it affects our overall quality of life?
okay. Like I previously answered the previous question, the side effects of sugars. So when we daily consume sugars in our day-to-day life, say we have coffees, we have teas with sugars added. So daily consumption of sugars, it's slowly adding to our day-to-day life. So the little bit of quantity is daily, right? It's not like we have weekly once or weekly twice. It's daily. So this slowly consumption affects our quality of life because once the sugar is consumed and there is no physical activity, there is no proper nutrients needed for the body, it tends to accumulate like a fat. There is a weight gain. There is no physical activity. There is obesity. Like I previously said, there is energy crash. There are a lot of mood swings. When we crave for sugar and we don't get it, we are like irritated. We don't want to work. We don't want to. Recently, attended a health event at a company. So people they tell me like, "Ma'am, I'm having coffee without sugar, but I'm adding jaggery powder." I was like, okay, so sugar, honey, jaggery, three are the same, but just in different form. So,
True.
and it's desk work. These days, everything is like work from home, desk work, 9 hours working. There's no physical activity. They tell, ma'am, I don't have time for physical activity. I tend to eat fruit juices. Fruit juices are also sugar
Sugar.
because the fiber is gone. So I was like, yeah. So these tend to, affect our long-term quality of life. uh, Even lack of sleep these days. There's so much use of blue screen during night. We don't tend to sleep properly, and lack of sleep also tends a body to crave for sugar. So yeah, all these they lead to major health issues like fatty liver, heart issues, blood pressure, diabetes. All are interlinked, ma'am. So we should know what we are eating and what type of sugar we're consuming and how much we're consuming.
So correct. And when you said about fatty liver, so the moment people think fatty liver is, they link it to the fats in the
Alcohol,
body.
also
They are not
alcohol.
able to, yeah, fatty liver to fat in the body and the alcohol consumption. So they are not able to relate that the excess sugar gets converted into the triglycerides, and these triglycerides are the culprit, which gets accumulated in the liver, and they are the culprit. So they are not able to understand that. They say that I am avoiding fats, I'm not taking fried food, I'm not taking all those junk. But the sugars, the excess sugars itself is a junk. So now they are not able to distinguish, they are not able to differentiate. And right, you have rightly said about the lack of sleep. So people tend to, have the late night dinners, late night blue screen. Their job itself is making them awake till 11 o'clock, 11:30. But post that, the blue screen effect. So you have rightly pointed out all those current scenarios and the effect of them. Right. So now the next challenge would be, so we have spoken about the impact on the daily life. So the next challenge would be how to cut them, right? But at the same time, that we should not be like as though we are completely avoiding them. Or um, so let's just discuss how you can reduce the sugars, or at least um, or completely avoid the sugars, but still enjoy the food, because ultimately we should enjoy the food we eat, right? So it should give solace to the body, right? At the same time, it should be nutritious also. So just throw the light on this topic.
So previously, when I asked you how do you feel about having sugars, you said the workout starts here, right? So it should
Yeah.
start here. We should be well aware that yes, our body needs nutrients, not empty calories. So even my ma'am at the hospital, she says our workout starts here. When it is fixed here, the lifestyle is fixed. It's all little lifestyle modifications, ma'am. Instead of empty sugars, we can have natural sugars which are present in fruits, in dairy products. These yogurts are present. They are the blueberry, we can add blueberry, we can add fruits. Even to the oats pudding, people add honey. Instead of honey, we can add fruits like blueberries, strawberries. They are good in natural sugars.
So true. Even
And
the
we can also have herbal teas. Nowadays, we're getting these teas. It does not require honey also.
so true. Yes, exactly. So even in the oats, we can have little. We can add vegetables also, so that the taste gets enhanced rather than adding sugars or the plain sugars. And we can add milk. We can add the fruits. So it becomes like a sweet porridge, right? When
Even
we
we can
add
add
the pies,
nuts
like a
and seeds
pie, some like
also.
thing. yeah, like a payasam like thing. We have it will become a dessert thing, but at the same time you would have had a good breakfast or a good meal. So a very good option, Nikita, for people to definitely follow, ponder on, think about, and then modify their daily routine. Thanks a lot for that. And now that we have spoken about the impact of sugar, so let's some shift to something which is more doable, which is more actionable. So, what are the practical ways apart from that which we have spoken? We can reduce or avoid sugars completely in our daily life. Some pointers.
Yes, ma'am. So, first thing is we have to make a habit of reading the food labels.
True.
Yeah, whenever we go to supermarkets and all, we just grab it. Instead of grabbing, just have a look. What does it contain? What does the food label contain? I've also recently known that the first three ingredients of the food of the packet, that's what contains the most. If it says the first ingredient sugar, it is loaded with sugar. So the first three ingredients, the top three should be our major nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, and fibers. If that contains sugar and fat, that's of no use. It's just a taste buds. And this processed foods is just like it contains sweet, ma'am, and we tend to have sweet because we like sweet, but we are not realizing how much are we having it. We have no control. We have no realization of how much we are having it.
Yes. And the processed food, na, it would uh, tempt us to have more. It would make us brain say to the cells everything to taste, but yes, it tastes good. Go grab it. So all this process would have got that ingredient in them, that chemical ingredient in them, which would make us to frequently go buy that and have them. So it starts from here, as I said earlier, that our intention matters a lot. So the more we intend to have healthy food, we need to create that habit first. So the more we create that habit, it would stay with us for a long. So it's after all a lifestyle intervention, lifestyle modification, which is for the entire life, right?
And people name it as
So
dieting, but it's not dieting. It's like healthy eating lifestyle that we are adopting slowly. It's not dieting.
yes,
That's what I can say.
so true, so true. It is
And
actually the way.
also,
It is actually the way we should be living, not the other way. So we have
yes,
been living the other way. So we have to slowly come back to the actual way in which we have to live.
yes, ma'am.
Right. So having spoken about the impact of sugars, the ways to reduce or completely avoid the sugars, now comes the important question to you. So, so all this while we would have had, people would have had a lot of sugars in them. They would have got already stored. So how to revert back or come back to the original position uh, to avoid the excess sugar? How some ways in which we can come back and have a balance in our life.
Yes, ma'am. The one way is, I could term it as lifestyle modifications, ma'am. Everything is lifestyle. It's not dieting. So one thing I can say is we can, there's so many viral recipes going on these days which contain no sugars. We can create our own dressing, salad dressings using yogurt and little
Yeah.
spices and herbs. The main focus should be on exercise, man. People these days, they're not physically active. So say we roam around, we are following 10K steps, but they don't know the proper definition of exercise. It's like continuous 30 to 45 minutes of physical activity is termed as exercise. That they're missing upon. They say we're having no time. 24 hours, we have 24 hours, even PM Modi has. Everyone has 24 hours only. It's just the time management, man. Regular physical activity will help, to cut down the sugar cravings. And, balanced meal. Our meal plate should be good of fiber, protein. Then, usually we tend for sugars because our body is deficient in some kind of nutrient, which is not, given to the body. So when
Yes.
we have good amount of fiber and protein, we don't tend to have sugar because we are full, we are satisfied.
The craving is lost.
Yes, the craving is lost. We can have nuts and seeds. I have really tried upon this on myself. Usually, I used to not have nuts and seeds in the beginning, but because now I'm going to hospital, I'm on rounds. I carry a small box of nuts and seeds. So whenever in the middle, 11 o'clock or something like that, I have nuts and seeds so that I don't crave for coffee and tea. Because these days I have to be active, so I have to take coffee. Is what my brain tells. But when I eat nuts and seeds, I'm like, okay, calm down. So that helped me a lot, ma'am. It's mindful eating that we have to practice and learn about. It's the sleep, it's the meditation, and people nowadays that when I'm stressed, I'm having anxiety, I'm depressed, I want sugar, I want chocolate, I want ice cream. That's where it's going wrong, ma'am. Emotional eating is one of the biggest trend these days. People tend to eat a
So
lot of
true.
sugar when they are stressed, and also during our stress, the cortisol is increased, and cortisol stays in our body for a long time. So yes, we need to manage,
So true.
meditation, journaling, exercise. All this helps in controlling our sugar cravings and lifestyle.
Exactly. They they read a lot of about the dark chocolates yes, there is always two sides of a coin. The dark chocolate has got its own effects, but when the people don't have the control to put the stop button, press the stop button, they tend to indulge a lot, even in things which are good for their health. It becomes the it
Bad.
takes the other side of the coin. Yes, it becomes bad. So moderation is the key that we have to follow, and eating mindfully, whatever they feel like eating, whatever is good for their health, eating mindfully is always also more important. So we have come to the end part, and thank you so much, Nikita, for taking your time out, and thank you everyone for taking your time out on a Sunday, 11 o'clock a.m., taking time out for yourself. So we have been addressing this in this session about the effects of sugar, the importance of sugar, and it's always a multidisciplinary approach. It's not just that one approach will be helpful to us. So it's always a 360-degree approach, which we always follow with each and every one of the clients who come to us for help. And we have to eat mindfully and have a physically fit body. We have to be physically active, and we can significantly improve our overall health by following all these steps. So we should always remember small changes leads to a significant improvement in our life. So thank you all for participating today, and let's take these insights and make our life more healthier